Hey everybody, what's going on? Harley Q back with another video, and today is a topic that's kind of funny. So we are talking about the dumb mistakes that I've made while game collecting. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is, well, there's multiple reasons, mainly because I'm documenting the collection and the process of making a game room in modern times with a modern budget. And, well, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did, because I'm not gonna lie, some of these are pretty dumb. Probably the one that I'm gonna end with is probably the dumbest thing that I've ever done while buying video games. But there's a funny story behind it, so I'm gonna make sure to leave that one last. But let's just kind of start with the list. I don't know, maybe if I think of more things, there might be a part two. Kind of very similar to my helpful hints while game collecting, or the annoying things about game collecting and things like that. You guys seem to like this kind of stuff, so let's jump right in. So the first one is assuming a game is valuable. And I had done this several times, just, finding a game somewhere and purchasing it, or just buying a game at a flea market or at a Goodwill, thrift store, whatever you want to call it, and just assuming that it's valuable, and just assuming because it's on that current system that it's definitely going to be worth something. And my example with that I have shown on this channel is Destiny. Now, I bought this game for $4.99. Oh, there's a sticker right there that says $4.99. That $4.99 sticker. Yeah, so you got the $4.99 sticker, and I spent, obviously, $4.99 on this. And you can see that I did this in, well, that's actually wrong. This should have been 2021. I actually bought this January. This was actually the day I got my first COVID shot, was in January. I was on my lunch break, and I was rushing to get back to work, and I happened to be in the area where the Goodwill was, so I figured I'd run in. And I saw this there, and I just went and grabbed it. I didn't price chart it because I assumed it was a PlayStation 4 game, that it was going to be somewhat valuable. Yeah, you tell me! So yeah, I wasted money on this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I might just hold on to it. I might trade it into GameStop at some point. I don't know. But all I know is I'm saying is, people make dumb mistakes. Please don't judge me. I'm sorry. So another one that I've done a couple of times on the channel is just buying something so you don't leave the store empty-handed. And, this happens a lot, at least for me, in like the winter months, because I'm not actually going out and buying things. I'm just sort of hitting Goodwills when I can, or hitting some indoor flea markets, or, local thrift stores, sometimes pawn shops. So the places that you can go are much more limited, and it can be really discouraging during those times because you can't necessarily find anything good for, a bargain. And when you're trying to save money and make a game room on a budget, it's definitely very discouraging. There have been times where I've bought, like, Madden 08 for $1 at the Goodwill because I didn't want to leave without a game. I have bought many of dumb games for my PlayStation 2 because of that. I even have some Wii games that are pretty stupid. Although I do actually really like my Wii collection. I think that's probably where most of my love has gone within 20 and 21. Those, those years combined, my Wii collection has gotten a lot of love. Anyway, but yeah, just buying a random game just so you don't leave empty-handed. The game's not necessarily valuable. You don't ever plan on touching it, but you just didn't want to leave without anything. So you buy it. And I'm sure that can apply to many other things that people collect. For example, I've done that while yard sailing where I didn't find anything, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll leave with this sock. I don't need it, but I'll leave with it, because you just kind of feel bad, especially when the people are watching you. So there's that. Probably the most important thing, and dumb mistakes I had, kind of going back to price charting, is assuming that a game is valuable. And I kind of, again, we're going back to the whole Destiny thing, is not price charting or price checking and just assuming that you find one listing on eBay that is generally what the price is, and not doing your research. And this kind of goes with reselling of anything. Not checking the conditions of a disc. So yeah, I'll use Destiny as the example because I planned this video poorly. But yeah, so sometimes when you are in a rush, at least for me, and I'm at the Goodwill and say I have to be somewhere else afterwards, and I just see a game, I open it quickly, okay, good, the disc is inside, 1, 2, call it a day. Same thing with yard sailing. If I know that there's another yard sale with video games and I'm kind of jumping from yard sale to yard sale, or if it's running out of time, it's the end of the day and I'm really tired and I'm just like, it's in there, we're good to go. And you forget to check the other side, and, by the time you get home, you're like, Wah! And the whole disc is ripped to shreds. That actually happened to me when I bought a bunch of loose PlayStation 3 games during the summer, and which is weird because I don't normally buy a loose disc, but it goes right back to the one that I said before. I didn't know the value of the disc. I didn't have anything else that day, and I was feeling kind of down, and I just wanted to leave with something, but didn't bother checking the quality of the disc. And what happened? One of the discs had a giant hole in it. And I'm not talking about the hole where your finger, you know, where the finger goes, people spin their disc around. Don't ever do that. But I'm talking about, like, there was a piece of the disc inside missing. Like, you could see through the other side of the disc. So, that disc won't work. I wasted money on that. You know, you can only save money so many times before you make a silly mistake like that. And sometimes, I know for me, I'm always rushing, because that's just my personality. So I just made a silly mistake like that, and yeah, now I have a disc that is completely useless. So another one, I can't even explain how many times I've done this on this channel. Like, I have even said this to myself several times, and I've gotten a lot better at it, but I still make this mistake, especially when I'm rushing, because again, I'm always rushing. I think one thing that we all have made at some point or another, especially when we're out there game hunting and we're picking up a lot of games, we're at a yard sale, we're picking up multiple games at a time, you are checking the first 5 or 6 games, and then you're assuming, okay, they're all in here. And, you know, there's the 1 or 2 games where you just pick them up and you don't check. Yeah, I didn't find that out till I got home with this one. Yeah, I have made that mistake several times, and it's always my fault. There was one time where I had bought a bunch of Wii games, and I drove like an hour to get the Wii games, and I still got a good deal, even though the one didn't have it. It was actually one of my monthly pickups. Open this one up. No game. Yeah, and I got home and I was looking at the discs and I was putting into my price charting and all yada yada yada, and when I got to, I believe it was Super Mario Brothers, the one with the red one for the Wii, the red cover for the Wii, it was empty. So yeah, I ended up selling the case separately, made my money back, and then I ended up finding it like the next month or the month after, and I did eventually get that copy of the game. But it was, like, just such a stupid mistake. And ever since that time, anytime I do a Facebook Marketplace deal or where I'm meeting with somebody who is selling me their games, I will actually go through the cases, at least for specific games. There was a lot that I picked up way before I started making on this channel, where I was buying The Punisher, I believe for PlayStation 2. And that was the only game I cared about, but I bought all her games because she didn't want to separate the lot, and I don't usually make people separate their lots unless they're asking a lot of money per game. And I just looked at that one, and she asked if I wanted to see other games. I said, I honestly don't care about them, I only wanted this one. So, that's the rare exception. But yeah, I've made this mistake on multiple occasions while picking up games. This was at a yard sale, I can tell you this mistake was at a yard sale. I got a bunch of Wii games at this yard sale, too. It's Sonic and Mario, but I just got so excited to actually be around games that I made my famous mistake of not actually checking the case. So, I just have the case, but I'm staying optimistic because my new thing to do is when I make this mistake is to just sell the case, because I did do that with another Mario Kart where I picked it up and there was no disc inside. I actually just sold the case on eBay and made like $12 off of it. So, I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to sell it on eBay and we're just going to call it a day. And they were all like Sonic-based games, and every time I opened up the discs, they all had one inside. This was the only one that didn't, and it was because I wasn't paying attention, because I was just so excited. The guy gave me like a deal where I bought like, I think it was like 12 or 12. It was like almost $1 a game. Like, it was ridiculously cheap. So I actually still need this game. So, you know, one day, that's just the case now, I'll probably end up selling it at some point. I think probably the best one and the funniest one, well, actually, before I get into it, we're gonna jump into one of these other ones where I bought a lot of SPs. This was actually my second video on the channel, and I was so excited to get this Pikachu one, and only to realize it's not real, because the real Pikachu one has brown buttons, not red. So, it's still really, I'm glad I have this. It's got a really nice, it has a really nice screen and everything. I love the Game Boy SPs. I think they're like really awesome systems. I have so many of them. My goal at some point is to get every single Game Boy SP, the colors, not the special editions, because there's too many. to get, you know, every single color of the SP. I'm missing a couple. Right now I have that purpley one, I have the red one, I have the black one. I don't know what other ones that I have. I feel like I have more than that. But yeah, I bought this lot, and yeah, it came with this Mario one, which this one I knew wasn't a special edition one. I knew going in buying this lot. This one actually has a really nice screen on it. Like, it's a super bright screen. Yeah, even the plastic feels different and everything. Like, this one I knew wasn't a real one, but, you know, I've seen this one sell on eBay. Apparently, I guess people really like this one, but I've seen it sell for like $120. That was a while ago. I haven't checked the current price, and obviously this isn't a real one, so it doesn't matter. It's cute to have. I mean, I don't necessarily care about having the real thing. As long as it works, that's all that really matters to me. Clearly it works. It was just running Super Mario Bros. 3, so, you know, it is what it is, but... Yeah, but accidentally buying, like, fakes or repos unintentionally. So obviously this is like a reproduction or a shell swap or whatever, but... You know, it's definitely not the same thing. They're still cool to have, so I'm not upset. They still play the games and everything, so it doesn't bother me too much. But if I was someone who, say, had bought this for the full price of what the Pikachu one was gonna be, I would have been very upset. I had a feeling, though, because, you know, like I said, the buttons were different, but at the time I was just excited to get it, and I got a bunch of SP games with it, so it ended up working out, but I don't know. And I think the last one, which... Okay, before we get into this, this was like way before I actually started really collecting. And we, obviously, in this house love JonTron. Who doesn't love JonTron? And if you say you don't love JonTron, then you need to get off my channel. So for those of you who've seen JonTron, you know that his earlier videos were a lot of video game parodies and reviews and things like that. So he played Clock Tower. And... I don't remember why, but I obviously really wanted Clock Tower, and at the time, it was shortly after Reddington bought me my SNES, and we wanted Clock Tower, but we didn't want to pay the price for Clock Tower, so we found a price for Clock Tower for the SNES. Now here's the thing with this particular one. This was before I was price charting, this was before anything. This is such an old copy of everything. It plays just like Clock Tower would. I didn't even think to compare it to my other cartridges. Never occurred to me to look at that. It wasn't until one day when I was starting to really take video game collecting seriously, where I was opening up my cartridges to check to see if they were real, and I picked up this one, and you can even see it, where I was, I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but I was literally ripping at it, the little bolt here, to get it out. And that's when I realized something was wrong with this cartridge. And that's when I noticed that the sticker was different than, like, the other SNES stickers, excuse me. And that's when I realized that the back label was different. There's no Nintendo thing here. Like, everything about this was different. So, at first I thought, oh my god, I have a fake. And then I rewatched the JonTron video.
Clock Tower. It's a series best known for the game released on the PlayStation 1. But it actually had its start on the SNES, which most people don't know because it was never released outside of Japan.
I'm an idiot. So, this is why knowing know your games. If you're gonna buy a game, know your game. Know what system it came out for. There's so many websites and videos and all this stuff where you can do research on where these games come from, what the condition are, what the label's supposed to look like. That happens all the time, especially with Pokemon games, especially the handheld ones, because so many people fake these. This might even be a fake. I think this one actually is I have a real one. No, yeah, this one's my fake one. But yeah, this one is fake. And Metal Jesus Rocks did a video on how to spot fakes. There's a bunch of different resources how to spot the fakes of Pokemon games. I will try to find some Reddits or something and post them somewhere. Maybe I'll make it a pinned comment at some point. This came with a lot of the SP, so I didn't actually buy this one fake. I mean, technically I did buy it fake, but I have the real one of this, so knowing this one was fake didn't bother me. But yeah, do your research on how a game's supposed to look. I mean, this runs beautifully. This is great. A great emulation system, like, you know, or a port, whatever you want to call it. It runs great. smooth, it looks fantastic. It just doesn't belong on the Super Nintendo, and it's fake. And maybe somewhere in the eBay listing when I bought it, it said that, and I just completely ignored it, because that sounds like something I would do. And yeah, but I mean, like, you know, it's one of those, I'm gonna keep this forever, because how did I do that? How did I do that? It's because sometimes you just watch a video and you're like, I need to experience that game, and you just don't care how you access it. I wonder how many people that's happened to. You know, leave a comment below if that's ever happened to you while game collecting. Have you just bought a game and, you know, before you really were into the knowledge and you accidentally bought the wrong thing entirely like I just did, or am I the only idiot that does that? Because I'm probably the only idiot that does that. Knowing whether a game is fake or not is definitely something super important when game collecting. And just fakes and reproductions in general. There's nothing wrong with buying a reproduction. Nothing. But when you're spending the money on a reproduction at the price that the real thing's for, that's the problem. This one I think was $20, which now in hindsight, that should have been the first red flag. Why was this so cheap? But I just wanted to experience the game. I wasn't putting two and two together, and this was way before I was seriously collecting. I didn't know anything about the SNES. I still really don't know prices for SNES too well. I know prices for Wii, PlayStation 2, GameCube much better than I know SNES. Pretty much like N64 to current, I know prices fairly well, and then, you know, before that, I don't know prices too well, because my first real experience with video games was probably N64. Well, that's not true. My first experience with video games was my Sega Genesis, that is for sure. I didn't really start gaming until N64, PlayStation. That era of games add up. So, games before then, it's not that they don't interest me, they do interest me, but I just don't collect them because they're much harder to find out in the wild, and it's just one of those rare things. So I don't really know too much about the pricing for them, as opposed to like Wii games. I find them all the time, so I generally know which ones are worth it and not worth it. So yeah. Anyway, that has been the video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment below. What's something dumb that you've done while game collecting, or did I hit them all? Or something you need more elaboration on, because it's me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch, which I'm going to come back to at some point. Although I'm thinking of switching over to YouTube gaming and live streaming from there when I get a chance, because it seems like I'm building more of a fan base on YouTube rather than Twitch, which is fine. I don't care. Live streaming is live streaming. And then you can also follow me on TikTok, where I post pretty funny videos or just helpful hints and all of the weird things that I've got while I'm out yard selling. And yeah, so yeah, definitely want to do that. I just posted a really decent, I think, little thing of advice for a GameStop thing that you should buy if you don't have it. So just follow me. I will continue to do things like that when I find deals out there. But that's pretty much it, and you done? And we'll see you next time in the next video.